where Velma said something along the lines of, "You're very unfiltered, like a lot of comedians before me too." And I was like, "All right,
Oh.
Velma, name them
Yes.
specifically. Name
Yeah,
them.
which one, Velma? Huh?
You can't
What'd she
just say
mean by
that."
that? What'd she mean by that?
It's like I've seen other shows, like Family Guy, who are brave enough to call it Harvey Weinstein. Velma, who do you know?
Yeah, Velma's like, you know what, Louis C.K. Jinkies. He gives me my Jinkies. I'm gonna go buy a Louis C.K. ticket. Hey, Pizza Party Podcast. I'm Pan Pizza. It's mid-January. Who are you people?
Well, I don't think January's that mid, but I'm Daft Pina.
Yeah.
I talk about art people.
I'm Jig Neutron. I do FNF.
And you actually had something released recently.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. Love that. Love that game. Never played it.
No, not the Five Nights at Freddy's. No, we had the.
So it was Five Nights at Freddy's, was it?
It was Friday Night Function. We showed off a bunch of mod trailers and projects. It was in the works for a bit.
What do
I
you
even
got?
To show off a song from Steven's Nightmare in it.
Yeah, you were showing me some preview stuff, and you did some wonderful 3D work for that.
Yeah, it was the first project. Function's the first project that Team Neutron got to work on. They did really crazy on the art, especially with the arrows, the background, the various overlays.
Yes, I remember I was like, you gotta show Pan, you gotta show Pan.
Oh, hang on, let me
You'll
see.
like the vibes.
Whoa. Hang on, I skipped ahead. Yeah, I see that. Jet Set Radio, look to it.
We were basing it. I literally remember like the meeting conversation.
Oh, yes.
And we were all like, "Oh, we want to do this to look like the old CN City mixed with Disney Channel ribbon era."
I see. Yeah, I like this TV, the cel shaded TV, the assets, 3D.
Yeah.
This is wild. Huh.
It is 35 minutes of fun and goodness. You can go watch at Jake's channel.
Yeah, I think like every mod in it, like every mod trailer in it was pretty impressive.
So is this like a Nintendo Direct for Friday Night Funkin' mods?
Essentially.
Dang.
There's been others that have already existed before, but I know that Crow, like pretty early on, was like, I really want to do one. I kind of want to try to like have it be that like it spotlights more than just mods and maybe some other kinds of FNF projects. Evidently, we didn't have the time nor the turnaround to be able to include more. We wanted to have a help wanted section. We wanted to have a section that like spotlighted a bunch of one shots, but there just wasn't time nor people specifically working on those aspects. So we were like, well, we should at least still like showcase 20 mods and point to a few other projects. And then maybe next time we might be able to do more. I'm hoping that we might be able to incorporate it in like something in the future, like MomoCon or whatever. But that's to be discussed.
I think my favorite one in terms of style and design is probably the Peanuts one.
Yes, the Peanuts one. I remember when Bantam sent that in the work Discord server, and everyone was like, "No way!" It looks very good
because they captured the old newspaper aesthetic, black and white and everything. But when Joe Cool shows up, red shirt, ooh, can't beat that.
I know that Bantam's is really, really good at emulating art styles. At least the ones that I've seen him do. He never misses.
But you know what is something that many people said did miss?
What?
That was a great.
Whoa! What did we miss?
That was a great transition.
What is it?
Velma.
Yeah.
#1 most watched premiere and animated series on HBO Max 2023.
Season 2 coming. Yeah.
Like a liar.
It's I remember seeing some quote tweets where it's like, of course it's the most watched animated series. You got rid of the rest.
Yeah. It's like, where am I supposed to watch Close Enough now? That's my comfort show. That and also like, I don't know what else there is to watch. Where's Close Enough?
Batman's.
Yeah.
Like Pan and I we'll circle back to Velma in a second, but Pan and I were like, let's watch something HBO Max animated, and we had to like scrub through all of the Batmans. We had to scrub through all the Justice Leagues, where it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's too many.
So many of them.
Yeah, who's got time to watch all that? I can't. I don't know. There's like 5 Robins. I don't know which Robin's which. Dick Grayson.
There was it's not the DCAU. It's whatever the direct-to-video series of Justice League.
Yeah.
They had like 16 different movies, and they're all connected. And I was like,
They're connected?
Okay.
Fuck. Where am I supposed to start with that
At the
shit?
beginning.
there's like this whole timeline, and they actually have a film that concludes everything. Like it
Oh.
gives it an actual conclusion.
Oh,
I was
joy.
like, oh.
Is that why the art styles all look the same?
Yeah, and then
Oh.
they rebooted it.
Yay, then they got new art styles, I hope. Yes.
But Velma, Pan and I saw episode 1 and 2. Jake, did you
Yeah.
see 1 and 2?
Yes, I did near immediately, and I remember I was watching it also with my roommate,
Mm-hmm.
and he conked out halfway through. I mean, he had work in the morning, so he was already gonna go to sleep. But like, I remember the first episode ended, and I like turned to him giggling, like, "This is really bad." He's like, "It is really bad."
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Certified banger.
But is it the kind of bad that you want to keep watching? I burped while saying that.
Not exactly. It kind of is like a headache because it's not like it's. Velma is weird because it's like bad in the kind of way where you know there's very little substance. Every now and
Mhm.
again they get a little chuckle out of you, but most of the time you're kind of sitting there like these characters aren't really thought through. They kind of talk about what they're supposed to be about way more often than actually.
Guess so,
showing
yeah.
it.
It's just nothing but dialogue and just people. I don't know. They're just unpleasant people to be around. It's like I don't like any of y'all. You guys are assholes. Why can't you be nice?
Personally, I feel like they're kind of
Well, let's run through all of it. Let's run through the characters and why they're terrible.
yeah.
So we can start with an easy one. Fred.
He's
He's racist.
He's well, yeah. Oh yeah, he is. He's rich.
So that's an uphill battle.
and white. That's his problem.
Yeah, they keep mentioning that he's
White.
rich, white, racist, and little tiny ding dong.
I do think it's
white
really funny.
woman.
I saw
Mhm.
one tweet about someone like complaining. It's like, why did Velma like out him like this? And it was like the clip of her like calling him a man child or something. And I was kind of sitting there like, well, one, this was part of the case within the text of the story. This is something that actually makes sense for her to be saying. And
Yeah,
two,
he's an asshole.
didn't that man say that he was allergic to ugly people in reference to that? Like he
Yeah.
didn't remember who she was.
Also, he thought Velma was Mexican when she's actually Indian.
Yeah, so like I don't really feel bad question mark, especially
Yeah.
because like yeah, you
Because
know
these
like
characters are assholes.
the whole entire thing that they're doing, the caricature of like, oh, he's like annoying white man that gets everything that he wants or whatever, but like at the same time he is also insufferable, and I kind of don't care if he gets made fun of because he's not a good person
Oh.
or character.
In terms of him being rich, from the other series that I've seen, that's not really the case. In fact, his outfit, because there's been scenes where, what was it, on Zombie Island, where like when the cat character scratches him, you see under it, he's wearing more of like a jumpsuit kind of
Yeah,
thing, like
that's-
a mechanic thing,
That's just how they lived in the 70s, you know, big old
Isn't-
jumpsuit. It's
and ascots.
no
Isn't there another incarnation where like he's the son of the mayor?
Oh wait, it's a speed.
Maybe.
It's a speed suit. That's what Dr. Venture wears.
And so I think it can be interesting, you know, because his character art could be that he becomes brave, I guess, but
Guess so.
Oh yeah.
you're gonna have to overcome racism before
That's
anyone
right.
really likes you.
Oh
in
man,
Mystery,
that's tough.
in Mystery Incorporated, his father was the mayor.
Oh, okay.
Which like, but like they did it way differently in there. Where like he like yeah he's rich boy, but he's like so like he's way more obsessed with like contraptions and shit. While
Traps
in here-
specifically, remember?
Yeah. he
Traps
has a-
Illustrated.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the Traps Illustrated. Oh brother, but in Velma, it's like when there is a description somewhere floating around from some review that didn't like it, describing him as a white rich boy with a small penis. You're thinking, oh, that's just some kind of being uncharitable, but like the first time you meet him, that's the exact impression they're trying to give
Yeah.
you. Nothing else. I don't really
He's-
think. I think like even like the moment where like he's trying to be like, wow, like having a genuine conversation with like Velma or something, he still undercuts it by still being an asshole.
And for Norville, let's
I
work
mean,
away. For
he's the most
Norville,
down to earth character at least.
yeah,
yeah, he's very. Someone's got to help him.
He's Shaggy, but not really.
In Norville.
He doesn't act like Shaggy.
We'll definitely
Yeah.
get into meta stuff in a bit, but no, he generally wants to help Velma, You know, he
Yeah.
generally likes her and everything.
Simp.
But boy, does she well, she was having a panic attack. You know, very serious thing that happens to a lot of people. She was just like laughing at him for having feelings about her.
Yeah, I relate to that. Classic.
And it's like, that's very sad. You shouldn't let that
Yeah.
happen to you.
Look, they're gonna look. The girl. I won't be ghosted. They'll get back to me after getting ghosted. It's fine.
I don't know. It was a bit of a confusing direction, I'd say. Norville, yeah, you're right. He's like the most down to earth. He's the only character that really is likable, and it's probably especially because of his voice actor, the voice acting.
Yeah.
Like he delivers lines well. He's funny, and even that one scene where like Velma is like laughing at him, it's like it's so close to being like funny enough, but it's not, because like those kind of jokes work better when you like the characters to some degree.
No.
And all I'm seeing is Velma in the midst of a panic attack, hearing somebody say "I love you" and then going "No, you don't," and then laughing at him. Like what?
No.
Who in their right mind does that?
Lots of people I know.
As for Daphne, I actually don't have much issue with her.
Yeah,
I mean, all the instances where she's being mean to Velma, we start off with Velma trying to murder Daphne.
Yeah.
So, like, she has a lot of good reasons to hate Velma.
Daphne was in the right.
Daphne is actually not very annoying in this. I think I'm fine with this version of Daphne, but I feel like the writing is just not helping her at all. Though, like they finally gave her like this like different unique kind of plotline relation. Like I don't think there's really any interpretation of Daphne where like she's looking into her family tree or whatever. Like that's interesting, and that's interesting that she's like to get the money to be able to even look for her parents, that she's like doing drugs or whatever, or not doing drugs but selling drugs.
You never did the
like,
drugs. You always sell them. Jake, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
like,
get
that
You've
could
seen
be-
Breaking Bad.
don't get high on your own supply.
It's like that could be interesting, but like again, the show's writing doesn't want to be like. I don't want to say that they need to be subtle, but they definitely got to be more subtle than directly verbally pointing out it, like like essentially trauma dumping real quick, and then be like, yeah, plot twist. Don't say plot twist out loud. Why?
Well, it all comes down to Velma as the titular character in the core character series.
Yeah.
It's the type of unlikable that in contemporary shows like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the arrogance and the meanness of the characters is funny because bad things happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
For Velma, when bad things happen to her, it's treated very seriously and she needs to learn a lesson from it, and not, she's just a dick to everyone. Just like,
yeah.
weirdly for no reason.
Yeah, and then
She's mean.
I'm still thinking about like those few clips that it's like, Velma out loud acknowledging that like if I can't say that I'm wrong about Fred, because if I say I'm wrong about Fred, then I have to acknowledge that my preconceptions about other people could be incorrect and something like that. I'm like, why are you writing this out in the text instead of just letting the cartoon show it?
It's the kind of writing
It's
that
meta.
go on.
Meta, it's pointing out the thing that's happening on screen.
Doesn't the root the like doesn't meta just mean change? Like that's what that word stem means.
No,
Essentially so.
means the game within the game. It's like it takes like 3 frames for to throw a Hadouken, so you gotta like plan around that or something.
The way that it could work, again, only 2 episodes are out at the time of this recording. We'll see, Thursdays, 2 episodes, whatever. If it showed Velma as a character, they showed flashbacks where she's getting into the detective shit, but there aren't instances of her like consuming a lot of media, right? So if we had those scenes where she's watching all these mystery shows or getting into this other stuff, it'd be like, okay, she's taking what she learned from TV shows because she was socially isolated from Daphne dumping her as a friend, and she thinks she can solve everything through watching TV and uses it to apply to real situations, then finds out it doesn't actually work because it's not a TV show, it's real life.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. She's just a
That's not
dick.
what happened.
Oh.
Like the
And
whole
she's
entire,
not.
the whole entire thing about her having like these panic attack delusions is something that like the way that they introduce it and the way that they keep bringing it up is like it's almost intrusive to the story. Like the story, it feels like the show's trying to be like, oh wait, the character has some fucked up stuff going on. Don't you care about that? And it's like, well, not really. because this stuff like happens, and like they keep pointing out that these hallucinations are so bad that they could possibly kill her, but in the same breath will make a ton of jokes and try to make it funny at the same time.
And it's not just her or things surrounding her that's meta. The first 2 minutes, right? Which, it's not really spoilers, it's the first 2 minutes. Gratuitous nudity set in high school, in which all the characters narrate how this is what shows do, and it's stupid, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
because
I hope that was the only meta.
Nah.
Nope. Every other character's. Shaggy looks directly at the screen and says, boy, do I hate drugs.
Classic Shaggy.
Wow.
I think it has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
Shaggy.
Blink sound effects.
He wouldn't do that. Not like all those other parodies. Genius.
I think it could work.
Shit.
You know, the thing about him not doing drugs? Like, I'm trying to think of... Maybe in an episode in the future, he thinks he ingested some weed, and so he acts like Shaggy normally would. Then he finds out he didn't take any drugs, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing that. I like eating big sandwiches.
Oh.
Turns out you don't have to be high to enjoy big sandwiches.
Slightly, like, on topic, but, like, way smallerly not on topic. Did anyone else notice that, like, when Norville's dad showed up, he just looked like Shaggy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the point. Was he voiced by anyone that played Shaggy in the past? Because
I know that Fred's dad is voiced by Frank Welker.
Yeah. That
And
guy,
he did a great job
yeah.
playing the dad, I guess.
Hmm.
Let me look it up.
Very-
Go on.
I don't know, like, the show's just so confusing. I don't know who it's for, because, like, I can't think of any target audience that would enjoy this. Scooby-Doo fans aren't going to enjoy it. Regular adult cartoon enjoyers aren't going to enjoy it. And, like, people who don't really watch cartoons and are giving it a chance because it's an adult show slightly related to something that they liked when they were younger, we're probably going to be pissed off, too.
You know, I bet if we go out into the street and just say, hey, you see that new Velma show? I'm sure there's like a bunch of normal people who don't use like Twitter or are online that much, who just like watch TV and love and are all up to date on James Cameron Avatar lore and everything. You know, there's probably those people out there that make up.
Well, it does have a good voice cast of recognizable people, right?
I don't
We got
recognize them.
Constance Wu,
Who?
Glenn Howerton,
Who?
Mindy Kaling,
Who?
Wanda Sykes.
Who? I know her.
Weird Al.
Yeah.
Weird Al.
I think this is... Yeah, he plays the Atuba kid. I think he got his leg chopped off.
Yeah, that was fucked
And
up.
it's like,
oh, yeah.
he's like, don't you want Weird Al to be more of a main?
Why did
Well,
that happen?
They'll bring him back. It's just we've only watched 2 episodes.
Speaking
Right.
of why they do that, the animation and backgrounds, wow. Ooh, they did a great
Yeah.
job on that shit.
Oh yeah, the art in the show looks really phenomenal, which makes it even more frustrating that this is written so terribly.
Oh.
I'd classify it under, if you turn off the dialogue and appreciate the animation, you'll like it.
Mm-hmm.
This definitely the same boat as 8 Crazy Nights.
8 crazy nights. Yeah.
Boy. Oh wait,
Just
that just
appreciate-
also reminded me. You remember that whole entire thing where they were saying that like Velma in this was going to be straight?
Yeah.
And that was a lie.
Oh, yeah.
Like a really bizarrely quickly disproven lie with some really weird forced like,
Mr. Incorporated, their fans had to wait so many years for nothing, and Velma fans, let's wait 2 episodes.
There's
2 whole
Velma
episodes.
fans.
like 2 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, there are people who don't use Twitter, and they're like, this is
Yeah.
good.
Hell yeah.
That's how I imagine. Someone who doesn't use Twitter, very specific person. I don't use Twitter. I
Banger.
like this show.
Who is
I love-
watching cartoons on HBO Max that doesn't use the internet?
I don't know. There's weirdos out there. Somebody. Possibly.
Well, it's people who do work and they come home, right? They turn on the TV and say, all right,
Yeah.
I'm going to watch something fun.
They don't watch YouTube videos.
So they're gonna go onto HBO Max and watch Velma?
I mean, it's like HBO Max. Your average person knows what HBO is. Yeah. It's like,
Well, it's more so
Funny
if
and-
you haven't been targeted advertised,
yeah.
people just scroll. People just look.
Look, it's like, oh, funny adult cartoon. I love it when the cartoons say bad words. I'm entertained.
Well, I've mentioned it before, but Android phones, right? If you swipe right, you get like a Google News feed, and I'd see articles where it's like, this TV series or this movie that everyone hated when it first released and it never should have made it, turns out people love on streaming services.
Hell
And it's like,
yeah.
they probably had a good title or something, or a good cover.
It was a cult classic in the making.
Were they rating it well, or did they just watch it?
Yeah, it was rated well. They're like, turns out people actually loved it.
Hell
And it's
yeah.
like, where were you when it first released?
I didn't know it existed, just caught it on TV one night and it's like, whoa, this is the best thing ever. Damn.
But this is only 2 episodes have released. Each week is supposedly, 2 more episodes. I like that. It's pretty fun.
Oh, it's 2 episodes each week?
Yeah. And
That's a little better than 1.
And so with that, I have high hopes that the show can get better. I'm praying to Scooby, whom we'll never see in the show,
No.
that Norville turns into a Shaggy.
I still feel like they're lying about that shit. I feel like Scooby's gonna show up at some point.
Maybe as like a background thing, or like a puppy or something.
Yeah, the final episode, they'll find like a puppy in a box or whatever. And then they'll be like, I'll name you Shaggy.
There was this tweet I remember showing, and so Max G tweeted, they should do a bit on Velma where she gets progressively more pregnant as the season goes on. Then the finale, she gives birth and it's Scooby, and all the characters look shocked and says to be continued, but there's no more episodes ever and it's never explained.
Yay. That'd be
Why?
awesome.
I mean,
Why?
it's one of those things where it's like, I know we're not gonna get more episodes, so let's kind of do what we feel like.
Yeah, fuck y'all. We don't care. We just showed up, make a cartoon, get out of here.
They're not clever enough to like ghost stories Velma.
They gotta.
They did that with Young Justice, where the creators said, yeah, we don't really have an ending, and so every time we end the season, it's always on a cliffhanger, and if we don't get a new season, oh well.
Oh well, yeah.
But you guys,
Can't
Yeah.
trust TV executives.
I just found a picture. You know that one meme where like someone posts the image of SpongeBob? It's like, this is the most gangster shit I've ever seen. Found one.
Oh damn, this pose, yeah.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah. Is this official or not?
I have no idea. It showed up in Google Images.
It looks too on model. Maybe it is official.
I really love Scooby's pose. This is great.
It's slightly off model and I just can't tell.
So to be very clear, right? We gotta clear some things up. Number 1, Mindy Kaling is only voicing Velma, and she's just an executive producer.
Yeah,
she's not actually writing the show.
Yeah, the creator is some guy that works on SNL.
It's an SNL writer?
Yeah.
Child.
But they've also worked on The Office. So it's like, yeah, that could be funny. Pretty fun.
Then maybe they should work harder.
Again, we're only 2 episodes in, and so it's like, how more meta can it get? How worse can the meta get? Which I hope I don't regret saying that.
Look,
See,
I'm sure
It's not an issue that the show is too meta or that the show is too woke or whatever. It's just badly written. It's not trying to engage with anything that it brings up. It just brings stuff up to bring them up, says them out loud, and hopes that like the audience is like okay with the commentary being that surface level.
Hey, shut up, white
Oh
man.
yeah. Whoa,
Shut up,
Pam.
white man with the tiny penis.
So
There was that one thing where Velma said something along the lines of, "You're very unfiltered, like a lot of comedians before me too."
oh.
And I was like, "All right, Velma, name them
Yeah.
specifically. Name
Yeah,
them.
which one, Velma? Huh?
You can't
What'd
just
she
say
mean by
that."
What'd she mean by that?
It's like I've seen other shows, like Family Guy, who are brave enough to call it Harvey Weinstein. Velma, who do you know?
Yeah, Velma's like, you know what, Louis C.K. Jinkies. He gives me my Jinkies. I'm gonna go buy a Louis C.K. ticket to. Didn't Louis C.K. wasn't he in the Ukraine when the war started?
Are you suggesting that he caused it specifically?
I'm not saying it. I'm just like, it's kind of weird that he was going to the Ukraine and on the day that his show was gonna happen, that the war broke out in the Ukraine.
Like Vladimir Putin thought he was going to come to his country and say, he's like, wait, why is he going over there?
Oh man, he's coming over here. He's over there, not our place. What the fuck? I love Louis C.K. Says Vladimir Putin and not me. I'm quoting Vladimir Putin.
Like, Louis C.K. is about to do his set, and they're like, all right, shut this all down, shut this down. It's like, what? Because of what I did? He's like, no, there's a war. It just started. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, did you do something?
No.
He's like, we just saw your comedy bit from 2008. Have you been up to stuff recently?
Yeah. It wasn't his fault, I'm sure. The war was gonna happen anyway, hopefully. Or well, not hopefully. Hang on. Whoa, hold
Hopefully.
on. Not
Right.
Hang on. I gotta rephrase that.
It's okay. We'll skip over to Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
for a second.
Oh.
To not get too much into it, yeah, he did it. I mean, Jesus Christ. I saw the leaked screenshots, and oh my god, like,
No,
He-
no
he
way.
did that.
He didn't. No, he couldn't have. No.
and everyone's looking at Dan Harmon going, you know what? Okay. If you don't do that, and you're just gonna keep making incest jokes, we'll take you instead. Just get rid of Justin.
What did Dan Harmon
They are?
do?
Oh, Dan Harmon, he was very creepy and terrible to a person on Community.
Oh.
He apologized. She accepted it. They moved on.
Okay, that's not so bad.
And people keep attributing the incest stuff to him for some reason.
Oh.
And way long ago, he made a Dexter parody, but the parody was he has to rape babies.
Oh. Wait, oh yeah, I remember that video that leaked. Oh.
And so Justin Roiland is worse.
Yeah.
Like, worse than that.
I think it's just like I still find like the stuff insane because before then, all the stuff that people would bring up about Justin Roiland, when you tried like looking them up, it either turned out to be untrue or like the details of it revealed that it wasn't that like serious. It typically wasn't revolving around anything like this. It was like I think the one that comes to my head immediately is the unionization thing, which like all the headlines made it out like he was anti-union, but then when you look at like the actual archived information, he was more just upset at the way that the Animation Guild handled the situation specifically, and not that he was anti-union. In fact, he even said that he feels that the unionization is very positive.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know, a lot of those, it was like articles like Cartoon Brew and shit. So
I mean, it is kind of hard to fight back when Justin Roiland clearly said "fuck the union."
Oh no.
yeah, I don't know what. There's no defending the fact the way
Yeah.
he said it.
You could have phrased that better, I feel. Could have said something a little different.
He could have done a lot of things differently.
He didn't even have to say all that shit. He didn't need to.
But circling back to Velma.
Yeah.
Circling back to Velma.
Mhm.
I mean, all the people who, what's the best way to put it? I'm gonna akin it to. I don't think I'm using that word properly. Remember when the Owl House leak happened, and the comment sections are like, "I'm sorry, I'm doing this. I gotta do." I have a feeling
Give me.
the same people who are saying "Don't hate watch Velma, don't hate watch Velma," are also just watching Velma anyway.
Look.
Man.
Hey,
Like, yeah.
morbid curiosity, sometimes you gotta gaze into the abyss and then notice there's a gigantic wheel that overtakes the entire world, and it's like, why is this wheel showing me all these different realities? What's that about? And why is this giant wheel in different religious beliefs? What's that about? Anyway, yeah, Velma.
But
I mean, I feel like it's at that point where like, all right, we've all seen it, we've all given it a chance, we all don't like it, so we don't have to keep watching it.
but I'm going to.
Yeah, I gotta give it a chance. I gotta see if the show improves as it goes along.
Not only
Sickness.
it's a two-tone thing. Number one, it's like what Alan Moore said. Well, he was talking about reading, but I'm not doing it right now. You should read bad things to not only appreciate good works, but also understand why things don't work.
Yeah.
And so, watching Velma is part that, but also the kind of people who are like, I hate Velma. You're like, have you seen it? No, but this guy made a YouTube video about it, and I trust their opinion. It's like,
Yay. They trust me. They trust me.
so you can do that, but how about you clarify all the opinions and information you're getting is from this video?
Yeah, the views
Just
and
watch it yourself.
the views and
People
opinions
don't
by
want-
me.
People don't want to work that hard.
Yeah.
Media literacy is very low.
Yeah, the views and opinions by me are by other people and not me, so don't
Well,
don't
it's
blame
like
me.
when people we saw this today. We're recording Monday the 16th, which is not as cool as Friday the 13th, by the way.
Yeah.
Where people thought that Shaggy Norville, it's gonna be hard to keep saying Norville, where Norville is dating someone, they're like, it turns out her name is Scooby with an I, and a tweet got like 100,000 likes or whatever, going, I hope this is not true, and someone said, no, I've seen the whole show. I'm a reviewer. I'm a TV journalist. This is not true. Stop spreading false information.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would have been
Stupid.
crazy if it was true, though.
Yeah.
That would've been- I think the fact that people believed it so instantly is how low people feel about the show. Its
Yeah.
decisions have been so like insane and confusing that like genuinely when I first saw that I was like I would not be shocked if this is true.
I would have wanted it to be true, because I was like, yes, if you're gonna fuck with the whole series, keep going. I want to see what you're cooking.
Please. Let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Or it's like in
You're
Mhm.
telling me that there are people who genuinely were gonna ready to believe that we lived in a world where a version of Scooby Doo had Shaggy and Scooby on a date.
Oh boy.
I would compare it to something I haven't seen a TV show for a while, Peacemaker,
Yeah.
where they murder characters and then they stay dead. And I'm like, oh, okay, I want to see where this goes.
For now, at least. Unless they come back in season 2.
No, they got shot in the face with actual bullets in the human's pan.
They'll be back.
No, this isn't Marvel. This isn't
Sorry,
Marvel.
they're a tad bit dead.
You'll see.
But for Velma, I don't know, I'll keep watching. Great work. Speaking of great work.
Great work. You
Last
were
Last
just
of Us.
shitting on them.
No, great work to the artists and animators. They did a
Yay.
wonderful job. And the voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
They did their best considering the dialogue.
Oh.
They did their best considering the dialogue.
Yeah, that's all they could do.
On a shorter, 10 out of 10 all across the board, Last of Us, the adaptation.
I've
Okay.
heard good things about that.
Finally, from a video game that's so cinematic that making a TV show based on it would be redundant, here's a TV show based on that game.
And apparently, so when Pan and I were watching it, we kind of not. So I just kept looking on Wikipedia for stuff. It turns out it's supposedly the largest Canadian film production, and I believe it. The sets are amazing.
Those aren't
Camera
sets.
work is amazing.
Those aren't sets. That's just how Canada looks.
Pedro Pascal as Joel. Great work so far.
Yeah, he plays a 36-year-old in this show. Well, in the pre-flashback scene.
Oh, instead of taking place in 2013, they moved it back to 2003.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing, because they're at a school, and they showed a picture of George Bush, and it's like, oh, I wonder how he's taking the apocalypse
9/11.
during his presidency. No, this happened afterwards, so someone had to come up to him and says, sir, something worse than 9/11 happened. And he's like,
Oh,
what do you mean? Something worse. He's like, zombies.
Oh.
And so the sets are great, the writing's great, the acting is great, right? The pacing was fine for like an hour and a half episode.
Yeah.
I'm not going to continue watching it.
I mean, I feel like, well, okay. I only played like the first hour or two of the game and then got bored and never played it again. But like this show is like, yeah, this is just like the game. And it's like, the game is so cinematic. This is just the same thing, but just essentially traced over and I guess extended edition, you know?
Extended only somewhat. I mean, I remember reading an article where it's like 10 things you didn't know about this. Some of them were actually important things I liked, where Joel's daughter in the TV show is wearing the same t-shirt she does in the game, just like a slightly different color or whatever.
Yeah.
And another thing where it's like, did you know that in the video game it's a farmhouse that burned? But in this series, it's not even like a pivotal plot point, it's just like a side thing. It's like, this guy's house burned, but that guy's
Yeah.
connected to the video game. But then the article had stuff like, did you know when Joel murdered this guy, it's actually a direct correlation to the beginning episode when he murdered this other guy?
Bitch, I
like,
saw that episode. Yeah, I fucking know.
And so the only way I'd recommend this TV show is if you haven't played the game and you're not looking to play it, then go watch it.
Yeah, because
That's all I can really say.
to me, it feels like, imagine if you were told, hey, make a movie based on Spider-Man, the PS4 game. It's like, why the fuck would you do that?
And so, as stated before, they're doing a great job. It's definitely the most, what was it? Oh, this generation's The Wire, where everyone just talks about it and you're like, okay. And then you finally see, you're like, oh, this is great. It's not really for me, though.
Yeah.
Have you heard that kind of phrasing, Jake and Pan?
This generation's The Wire?
No. When people kept saying, you gotta watch Breaking Bad and The Wire, the greatest shows on TV.
Yeah.
What's
Where
The
people kept
Wire?
recommending them. The Wire?
It's
I'm not
cop
getting into that.
It's It's a cop show, I think. It's got the guy from
Everything's connected.
Michael Chiklis. He was in the Fantastic Four movie as the Thing. He's bald. Kind of looks, he's... It's The Wire.
But you know what we should wire too?
What?
What?
A break.
Oh, true. Oh,
A
God.
break.
Yeah.
And so we'd be right back.
We're always in our clubhouse getting high. Super fuckers. Everybody wishes we would die. Super fuckers. Here we come like a bomb. Everybody fucking run.
Hey, questions. If anybody has a question, be sure to start it with the word question so it's easier to find and post them in the YouTube comments of this YouTube video or on our Discord in the Q&A section. And what's our first question?
Mr. Titty at Pan Pizza.
Yeah.
Question. It's the Mr. Titty. I can't believe he's asking this question. Very honored. If you, Pan, could get any celebrity to voice one of your characters, who would it be and why?
Because I don't really care about the celebrity voice actors side of things. Because it's like,
Well, no, I think what they're referring to is someone who's famous or has been in a lot of cartoons. Let's open up to that as well.
That's expensive, but Honestly, I don't know because I never thought about it. Well, I guess I have thought about it, but I'm like, it costs money because I always said like my character Bianca in Loki, I should be voiced by whoever voices Ruby in Steven Universe or Chloe when We Bear Bears. Yeah.
Let's open up to Jake. What about you?
The question was, what voice actor or...
What celebrity? We're going to open up to voice actors as well. To voice one of your characters, who would it be and why?
This is like a specific person I haven't had to think about in like years, and looking them up. Who they have previously been associated with is not fantastic, but I've always like remember this one person that was like a co-host on a podcast. Her name was Jessie Buttafuoco. I always loved her voice. Apparently she has a very infamous family, but I've always wanted to have a character voiced by her or just that sounds just like her. She sounds like if Amethyst was 40 years old.
Oh, that sounds very fun and interesting.
I can't really think of any other celebrities that like have like a voice that I'd be like, oh yeah, I have to have a character with that voice, because anyone else would just be regular voice actors.
I know Pan can attest to the voice acting chops. Michael Cusack, you may know him from Smiling Friends as Pym.
God, yeah.
The main character is Koala Man.
Yeah.
And was it Rachel in Yellow Crystal Fantasy, and Rick and Morty from Bush World Adventures.
Yeah, he plays a lot of characters.
As a side tangent, I was showing Pan all of Koala Man and all of Yellow Crystal Fantasy. Those shows could not be any more different from each other.
Yeah, Yellow Crystal Fantasy feels like Smiling Friends unhinged. Like, it has all the same humor, but I don't think it has like the same down-to-earth, relatable characters that Pib and Charlie are. So, but it's still a pretty funny show. And then you got Koala Man, which is a newer show for Hulu, and it's kind of just a very average show. It has kind of his humor with the Australian inside jokes, but it just feels very
It's definitely the most middle of the road show.
Yeah.
That didn't have meta stuff.
Yeah.
Like stupid things happened, and none of the characters went, all right, this is very stupid. Why are we doing this? They just kind of went with it.
Yeah, it's just like a conventional show that's just average on its own. There's nothing insulting or offensive about it. It's just, yeah, it's all right. This is a show.
It is a 20th Century Fox production, so it does have that kind of adult and American animatedness. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's Hugh Jackman. That's fun. There he is.
Who does Hugh Jackman play?
Big Greg.
Yeah.
I don't think he plays Huge Greg, the older brother.
Mm-hmm.
But if anything, yeah, Yellow Crystal Fantasy is fun. It's definitely the type of show, which we're way off the topic of the question. It's definitely the kind of show where starter animators should watch it and go, oh, I can be a little bit goofy.
Yeah, go fucking cray-cray.
Like, a comparison that I would make to Smiling Friends, right, where a weird creature comes up, and Smiling Friends, they would say, who's this character? Why are they doing this? This is so annoying. Why are they talking? In Yellow Crystal Fantasy, when that character shows up, they go, oh, hello, do you need something? And then they kind of just go on an adventure.
Yeah, it truly is a crystal fantasy adventure because it is an ongoing storyline. Surprisingly,
And they're getting a sequel series called Yellow Silver Destiny. Ooh.
yeah.
Mr. Wee,
Huh.
question. Regardless of how you feel about the new Velma show, where were you the first 30 minutes?
Oh no.
Just kidding, we're recording this in the past. We could be dead by the future. Would you say Glenn Howerton as Fred was perfect casting? Assuming anybody here watches Sunny. No.
Sunny?
I honestly don't know why they chose him.
I didn't really think about his voice. Just like, yeah, this voice is pretty cool. I'm kind of just, it's all right, I guess. If I see more episodes, maybe I'll think something.
What about you, Jake?
I still feel like the only like really perfect voice for the role that they were given was who's playing Norville.
I looked it up and I closed the tab. So I've heard his voice before. Sam Richardson.
And
There he is.
Sam Richardson's doing fine. It's not what I'd think of with Shaggy, but in terms of like take, he's the one who's like these lines. He's making them sound either okay to borderline fantastic.
Considering that the character of Shaggy talks completely differently, has a different vocabulary, has a different kind of vernacular, he plays a different version of the character, and I'm excited to see if he turns into that character, how his range is. If that makes sense. Can he be a Shaggy? He's a good Norville, but can he be a Shaggy? Hewitt Fan 96. Question. What is the most unpopular cartoon opinion?
Oh man.
Wait, no, was your most, not the most. So what is Pan's?
This gonna be another one of those everyone puts swords up to my face image,
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's gonna be one of those.
Let's see. You all go first because I'm trying to think of a controversial pan pizza opinion.
Okay. Family Guy is funny.
Yeah, true that.
I think a lot of people would like the show more if they weren't just being
Crack.
Whoa.
because I've seen I'm going very far because people laugh so hard at the cutaways and clips on Twitter, but they have to continue the sentence by saying, "Now I hate the rest of the show." Where it's like, my man, laugh. They made a joke. You laughed. Try it out.
They do
Try out
got
the show.
What's it called? Compilations all over YouTube. It's like its own genre.
Yeah. Some people just don't want to sit through all the storyline for segmented parts that could have just been individual pieces,
Definitely so. And luckily there's, what was that? I showed you people kinning Peter Griffin.
Uh-oh.
Someone animated him with like cat ears singing and everything. And it's like, are people turning around on Peter? Only Peter specifically, the bi icon of adult
Wasn't
animation?
there like some kind of meme where like he identified as a lesbian? I swear to God, I saw someone said they had a
Oh.
dream where like Twitter was just accepting that, and then it actually became real for at least a week.
People misattributed a screenshot. What was it? It was an episode where Peter was at a ballpark and he walked into the non-binary bathroom, and the cam like pointed a camera at him and says #1 transgender fan.
Oh.
You thinking of that?
Yeah.
Why is that a bad thing, Pan?
Well, no, it's like I didn't say. I said, yay! It's proud of them. Yeah.
And so, what's your unpopular opinion,
I'm trying to
Jake?
think of an unpopular opinion, but the only thing I feel very strongly about is like that Steven Universe was good. And like that's not exactly an unpopular opinion, because there's a lot of people who do think Steven Universe was good, just as many as there are vocal people who think it was bad.
Oh, wait. Reminds me, like in general, I'm like, damn. There's people who make like a bunch of rant videos on newer SpongeBob or Fairly Odd Parents, and I'm always just like, who cares? I don't know.
I saw. Oh my god, I saw people sharing this on Twitter. It was a YouTube video where it's like an exhaustive critique of High Guardian Spice, and it was 11 hours
Yo, I saw
long.
that.
And it's like, my guy,
Damn.
are you okay?
Do
Do you need to like sit down for a sec? Because it's for people who review cartoons online. Those videos are usually like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe 30, I guess. But like 11
Can't
hours.
imagine the issues for a show being that ingrained if it's like, because how Guardian Spice only got like one season, didn't it?
It just got one season, and it was okay.
Right. So how
I
do you
mean-
generate content that long based off of that?
It's like this. I sent in the group chat this picture I found, where it's just a guy with like a bunch of Velma characters around him, and the words "too woke" showed up, and it's like, I feel like there's some underlying issues, and it's not just about the show that you have an
it's
issue
definitely
with.
not about the
Yeah.
show, because whatever crowd they think that this would be like catering to as woke doesn't even like it because they think it's fucking weird.
Yeah, like the one thing that bugs me about the whole controversy for Velma, it's like, damn, where's the? I mean, no one was this mad about Scooby Doo on Zombie Island 2 because there was a sequel to that, or I don't know, but like, you know, but if you does anyone really care about Scooby Doo? I know we just talked about it, but my thing is, it's just like, guys. There's like normal Scooby Doo, like airing on Cartoon Network, like right now. I don't know what the new one's called, but it's just like a conventional Scooby Doo where they have a guest star each week.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's like,
I think it's Scooby Doo. Guess who?
Yes.
Guess Who Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo Guess Who.
It's like everyone. I mean, I didn't want to talk about Velma at all, but y'all brought it up, so it's like, great, I'm dragged into this. So now I feel like a hypocrite.
You made a video about it.
I made
You made
one
a video about
video. I made one. I said I'd only make one video and then maybe cover it if my thoughts change after that. And that's it. I'm not going to do like, I don't want to make like 40 videos on it, you know?
Well, that's the thing. You made one. You moved on.
Yeah.
You are nowhere near the 11-hour. You're not making an 11-hour rant about the first 2 episodes of Velma.
Yeah.
Because
That's why I quit. I didn't want to do that Powerpuff Girls retrospect part 2. I was like, I don't care. I lost interest.
I think because Scooby-Doo has become a, what's the best way to put it? A instant classic American literature.
yeah.
I'm gonna
yeah?
say, yeah, from
Yeah.
1969.
I guess so.
It has multiple reboots in different styles of different writers coming into it. There's live action stuff, there's video games, there's new series, there's comic books, there's board games, there's radio plays,
Oh my
there's
God.
everything of it. And so to get invested into Velma or Scooby-Doo, it is a, don't like this one, go watch a different one. And now people are going back to be cool Scooby-Doo. But it is definitely a, let's wait till the whole series is out first,
I feel like
you know?
I
Could
feel
get
like
better.
Scooby Doo is in that very, very rare area of a piece of media that I don't think anybody wants to disappear. Like, I don't really hear people. I know there were a few times where people were complaining about Scooby Doo getting reboots, but I think everyone's kind of reached the nexus point where they realize, wait, Scooby Doo is just all reboots. Why are we complaining about this?
Yeah. This shit never ends.
It's such a good premise, though Hanna-Barbera did several Scooby-Doo shows.
It ain't
at
a
the same
good
time.
premise. No,
Yes, it is. It's
look,
some people
go watch
with
fucking-
a talking dog.
go watch a real mystery. Go watch Detective Conan. Those are some real mysteries. I remember seeing that as a kid, thinking, "Damn, this show's hardcore." They got murder. Scooby don't got murder.
Does
No,
Detective Conan have a talking dog?
nah, it don't need
Damn,
one. It's got a
mid.
grown ass
Detective
adult.
Conan have like a smaller Detective Conan called Scrappy Conan that follows him
Yeah.
around. Don't think so.
Conan, Olin, yeah.
I would like to remind the room that Supernatural had done a crossover with Scooby-Doo where one of the characters was extremely down bad for Daphne the entire time and was trying to get between her and Freddy.
Yeah, that'll show them. Oh wait, I just remembered a controversial opinion. Yeah, Peggy Hill from King of the Hill is not so bad. She's cool. Everyone's being mean.
People hate her?
Yeah,
Yeah, very
that's-
much so.
assholes hate her.
hilarious.
She's someone who tries her best. That's really kind of it. She just tries her best and means well.
Yeah, even though she accidentally kidnapped.
What?
Even though she accidentally kidnapped a Mexican child.
What?
We've all been there.
Accidentally.
It happened.
Yeah, she was later found innocent because her lawyer proved that she doesn't actually speak Spanish despite being a Spanish teacher. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, she literally did not understand this child.
Oh boy.
Nah.
Wait, wouldn't that still constant? Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's like, it's just a silly thing. Like, imagine if you kidnapped a Mexican child and didn't know what they were saying. Like, how would you even, like, go about it? Would you sneak them back the border? Like, like, hypothetically, what would be your
why would
advice in, like, fixing that
Why would
situation?
understanding the child be relevant to determining whether it was kidnapping or
It's
not?
like, I can't communicate with them, so it's like, I gotta show them, I gotta take them back to the past and not murder them,
So next question.
We've all been there, like, hypothetically,
Desmond Aurorlis, question for all. Do you feel like slice of life cartoons don't get enough attention these days? I'm a big fan of Ghostman Molly McGee, and fear of a lack of attention. I don't know why I coughed
That was a
aggressively
cough?
right there.
It sounded like you died.
Yeah. No, it's not. No, I like the show, so it's not even like me mentioning the show caused me to cough. But anyway, I'm a big fan of Ghost of Molly McGee, and a fear of lack of attention is going to kill the show.
Oh no.
Despite a good mix of supernatural junk with relatable hype. No. I mean, TV needs shows with little to no story, and so Ghost of Molly McGee and the Big City Greens fills that. They're not getting canceled
Are both
anytime
those shows
soon.
doing really well?
Hopefully.
too?
TV needs that.
Like at least Big City Greens. Big City Greens
Yes.
is doing well.
Yeah, they play that all the time.
It might just depend on what community you're like paying attention to, because obviously like general cartoon space that like likes to theorize about cartoons, they're gonna talk more about serialized shows than episodic ones.
Yeah.
And like Big City Greens and Molly McGee aren't exactly there's not mysteries that you have to really unravel that tie into each
The most you'd
episode
see
like
is
that.
best of 2022 kind of videos where it's like, then they'll mention Ghost of Molly McGee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like this, like the same vein of like I think about the same thing like Craig of the Creek. I don't like during Craig of the Creek's run. I don't remember if it's still running. I'm pretty sure it like got canceled, but hasn't aired its last episodes. I don't remember. But like that show literally only comes up in discussion every now and again when like they do something in an episode that people were like, oh, that's funny, which is generally what happens with most shows of that like era. But like outside of that, nobody's really talking about, oh, did you see the new Craig of the Creek? Because this is a slice of life cartoon. They tune in when they tune in.
You're saying that, but then the Craig of the Creek fandom gonna raid our comment section.
There's some plot lines to Craig of the Creek, somewhat.
No, I mean like there are, but I'm more saying that like you're not really seeing it be mainstream to do theory videos on them because people aren't thinking that hard about it. They just really like the show. They'll tune in when they can. That's that show's like area where like that's just the way that they interact most of the time. There definitely are communities that are talking about them often, but you're not going to see them like you're not going to regularly come across it on your feed unless you have specifically made it so that Craig of the Creek stuff is showing up on your feed a lot. Same with Molly McGee. Same with a lot of shows.
But what does show up on the feed? This actually leads into a new question.
Oh,
Queen Darkness. Longtime viewer, first time question for all. What do you guys think of Amphibia? I don't think I've heard Panorama talk much about it. It is my husband and I's most loved animated series in a long while. Would like to hear you go into detail about it and talk about your favorite characters. What do you think of the finale, etc. So Pan?
I barely watched it.
No.
Can't watch everything. I'm like King, Bobby Hill when you try to win that quiz show where he had to learn a bunch of stupid TV trivia.
Yeah, we'll get into the Amphibia thing in a second. I'm trying to get Pan to watch new things.
Yeah, I won't get around to that.
Because just this month, for live action stuff, I've saw several shows. Just finished one last night.
Yeah.
And I'm going to list them. These are HBO Max stuffs, so if you want to see them, you can go watch them. Avenue 5, pretty fun. It's basically a space cruise that gets caught off course. Comedy. Miracle Workers. Daniel Radcliffe. Every season is an anthology. Pretty funny. Ghosts. Bit self-explanatory. Just ghosts. It's British.
yeah.
Wellington Paranormal. No, I'm going to go back. Okay. So for Ghosts, someone inherits a haunted mansion. And after a bump on the noggin, one of the owners can see the ghosts. Hijinks ensue. Wellington Paranormal. New Zealand series mockumentary about two very dumb cops stopping paranormal stuff. Pretty funny. And the worst one. Stallflets Flats. It's about a guy who sells flats. Very British. These characters are mean.
Well,
So new stuff. I'm trying to get Pan to watch new stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I forced him to watch all of Koala Man.
Well, I've been watching some anime. Yeah.
Well, I remember when you asked me if Koala Man was good, and I was like, it's all right. And you're like, why are we
Yeah.
watching it?
Yeah, we just sat through that, and it was like that was acceptable. Yeah, but I can talk about some animes I watched.
What have you watched recently?
Okay, it's on Netflix. It's called Erased, and it's about a guy, and whenever like something bad happens, it happens, and then he gets transported like a couple seconds into the past, and then he has to prevent that from happening. But this time, he gets sent. He's a guy, a grown ass adult, and he gets transported to him as a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old, and he's got to prevent this girl. one of his classmates from getting murdered.
I
Yeah,
feel like I do
in
remember
the
hearing about
past.
this one.
It better not be creepy. It sounds a bit
Well, it's
weird.
not. Well,
A grown adult gets transported back to his 10-year-old body.
okay, it's not okay.
Didn't that happen in Big?
I think there's like, hold on, there's like two, I guess like two jokes, but it's like the guy doesn't do nothing weird. Okay.
Oh, okay. What other anime have you been watching recently?
Okay. Well, rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah.
Okay. And how is that show?
Yeah.
Yu.
Well, besides the fact that like Yu Yu gets his gets off, like gets
He
in
gets
trouble.
off?
No, he gets
Oh, okay.
he gets in trouble, and then he like dumb luck saves his ass. But I hope that. But apparently that's not the case for the rest of the series. So I'm at the part where all four of the guys team up and they're in that tower. Yeah.
We're never gonna.
What
end
have you been
Amphibia.
watching recently, Jake? We'll get back to Amphibia. What have you been watching recently, Jake?
I don't know. Whatever's on.
Okay, we tried. We tried.
Oh.
Owl House, I guess? I mean, that's still continuing, so that is a thing. Oh, Owl House, the new episode that we definitely did not watch, is finally releasing on
true.
Saturday.
Wouldn't be by the
that's-
time that this
that's
episode's
good.
coming out, would be airing like the next day.
The next day.
What's Hang on, who's the Owl House creator?
Dan Terrence.
Forgive me, Dan. Well, forgive them, Dana Trent. I never watched her, so I didn't like watch the leak. But I'll get around to that show.
I think what's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, you didn't
when
watch
it, when it,
none
when
of
it
the
comes
show.
out when it comes
Repent.
out tomorrow for the viewers, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna air on TV first, but they're gonna drop it immediately on YouTube right after.
Which I think is very
Yeah.
good.
On YouTube?
together.
Where do they get their money?
Ad revenue.
From ads.
Ad revenue? They ain't getting what? That shit don't pay.
Yeah, when they released the other episode, they got like over 2 million views.
Yeah, that's gonna
So,
equate to like
yeah.
$10. Yeah.
How much money are you getting from your videos of $10? It's from
No,
a million
don't
views.
worry, I'm
Actually,
good.
How
I'm good.
How many views does it have now? Hold on.
Why research that for Amphibia? I find Marcy very funny. She's very funny. She's clumsy. She falls over a lot. I very much relate to that.
5.3 million.
So that's at least $20. What about you? What about you, Jake? Who's your favorite character
My
from
favorite
Amphibia?
character from Amphibia. I would say probably either Hop Hop or Sasha.
Mhm.
Hop Hop because I think he's funny as hell, and Sasha because Sasha has like a whole Zuko arc.
Yeah, she recovers from being a bad guy to like not a good guy, but like neutral and good.
I'd say that
I
like
mean-
Amphibia is one of those shows that like it's to me personally one of my favorites of the Disney Channel. I would say top 5. I think out of all the cartoon endings that I've seen, like ever, Amphibia probably has the best one in terms of like everything the show sets up, they deliver on it and more. There is nothing disappointing about the ending.
It's definitely a case of I remember seeing the ending and people were like, they should have stayed blah blah blah, or they should have kept the blah 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 open or whatever. And it's like, no, that defeats the purpose of the entire show and Anne's arc as a character.
I understand people probably being like upset about the ending because it is a hard aspects of it is a hard pill to swallow because it's essentially telling you to face a reality of life that is unavoidable. And the cartoon that you probably were using to escape thinking about those kinds of realities just told you, no, come back. You're gonna have to face the music someday. But I think that they do it pretty well and all that after with some anime fights.
And especially when they went back to the human world for a bit, and the parents had an actual reaction, like, "Oh my god, all these things happen! What the
Parents
shit?"
actually got to be characters.
Oh my god. Comparing it to the Owl House, well, I mean, one had more episodes to work with, but it was just kind of like, oh, magic is all this. Oh, now you got
I
this.
will say that the Owl House, in terms of like giving parents spotlight, I think the Owl House is doing a better job giving Camila like an actual character. Because Amphibia, they're like obviously Anne's parents are characters that you do get to see. You get to see the reactions, but they don't really go in depth to any degree. It's not like you're seeing any of the parents like think about something that Anne said. It's just very clear that like Anne has supportive parents that are willing to participate in helping her. Well, in the Owl House with Camila,
For Owl House, there's only like one episode.
huh?
There's only like really one episode that focused on the human world where she really was there. and we got to see a lot of her doing things.
Technically 2, and technically in other instances, you still.
B plots don't count. I'm not counting B
Why
plots.
would you not
I'm counting
count bleep?
more focused A plots.
B-plots? This is like
Because if we're counting Amphibia, which had like a full-ish season of them hanging out in the human world, and then Our House where they kind of hung out there for like a bit, then went immediately back to the magic world, I don't think it gives her enough character.
Wait, but in those things in Amphibia, they're still not really giving the parents instances where they could be characters on their own. They're still extensions of Anne. But in the Owl House, Camilla definitely is getting chances to be her own character. You get to see parts of her backstory. You get to understand her motivation and how that relates to how she treats Luz. Like, Camilla has, like, definitely has a ton of character. I would not say that, like, she's better written than Anne's parents, just that she's being given a better focus than Anne's parents. Anne's parents got to be there in more episodes, but it's not...
They had to speedrun a lot of character developments in one episode for her.
For who? Camilla? Well, no, but you see aspects of that throughout the show whenever she shows up. And you can see it in the way that, like, Luz talks about her mom, the way Camilla talks about her daughter, just everything. Like, they have little time. Like Camilla has little screen time, but they're using it effectively because they want her to be a whole character. Amphibia isn't necessarily trying to do that. Amphibia is still definitely more focused on the girls and the fantastical world, and the parents are kind of like, they're not ignoring the fact that they exist. That's like...
Well, it's also hard because we're getting way too much in detail.
Very invested in talking about parents and cartoons.
Especially because Pan hasn't really seen either show.
Yeah, y'all can talk, you know?
No, we're gonna... Since Amphibia's done, we can make it a thing where we'll all rewatch Amphibia, so you have an opinion on it.
Yay.
I can rewatch the show. It'll be fun. We also have a nice question. Pan. Question for Pan by the Luigi Fan 1. That's actually a pretty lucky username. Because usually we get like the Luigi Fan number 38, but this person's the first one.
Yeah, the first and only Luigi fan that's ever been.
Question for Pan. Do you ever have trouble coming up with new visuals for your main videos, or is it part of the process you find easiest?
Oh, well, it's fun to experiment with the visuals and stuff, and I usually have a clear Y2K idea that I want to do, although sometimes mixing the colors can be odd. Though, with the new intro you see in my mainline videos, I was just like, I got no time for this, I'll pay someone else, and I paid my friend, so an artist called Froyo, like, hey, you make some cool Y2K aesthetic things, Froyo Tam, on Twitter. They make some cool Y2K graphics. Make me something, and that's what they made, the intro. But I am paying someone else to make a CG Pan because I'm tired of the old animations.
But you'd be able to still like overlay some talking stuffs.
Yeah.
Some mouth flaps. Oh wait, no, the new character design doesn't have a mouth flap.
Nah, no one needs
but
mouth
it does
flaps.
But you'd still have to make the clothing move to signify that your character's talking.
It's cell shaded. Maybe just make some Edinetti Okami type outlines where they jitter. No idea.
That could be fun. But you've always loved the graphic design stuff.
Yeah.
And I usually ask you for help for that stuff where it's like, Pan, how's this look? And you're like, and then give me suggestions.
Cool. Yeah, it's like, graphic design is my passion.
We're going to throw up the penguin. The classic penguin.
The penguin? Oh yeah, it was a frog.
It was frog.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I saw a penguin one.
Nah.
But we got to wrap this show up.
All right.
Pan, do your best Fred impression.
Well, gee, gang, this sure was a fun adventure. Glad we figured out who fucking murdered Tupac. It was the fucking FBI that I unmasked. Yeah.
Like, I could have sworn it was Biggie and his gang. You sure about that,
Nope,
Fred?
it wasn't them at all. It's not possible. It was the FBI.
It was Megan.
It
was Megan.
Who the fuck is...
Oh, no.
Who the fuck's this bitch? What the fuck?
Mathregan.
Oh, fuck!
Well, that movie slapped.
So much so that's getting a sequel.
Let's go!
I am excited to see what they name it, because they already named the first one M3gan. So,
Stupid.
is it Megan's?
Yeah.
Matugan? We await your Matugan. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Velma. Why don't they call their show Velma? Velma's the one doing everything.
You're a man, Michael. You're not a man at all!
Okay. Well, this has been really helpful, guys.
All right, you called my bluff. I am not really a virgin. Yes, I am.